Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my live streams. I just heard a couple of people saying that they have actually made their second or third live stream. I absolutely want to welcome you guys. It is always a pleasure to join you guys on a live stream, and it's certainly a ton of fun for me. So hopefully we can have a good time together. So we have a couple of things on the agenda tonight that I want to give you guys a heads up on as I try to get my camera in the right position. We are going to make a little bit of an announcement today. Not a major announcement, but I think it's going to be a pretty cool announcement that I think you guys will enjoy. Hopefully you guys will be able to join me as part of this announcement, but we will see. I'm going to do an unboxing. Someone actually sent me a pretty cool, I think it's an A-OK. And as I look at it, there appears to be some DC related drawings on the box, so we're going to see what's inside of this one. We are going to have a little bit of a celebration as well, and then I'll give you guys an update on a couple of other things. So let me say a quick hello to a few people here. I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know if anybody was going to join me because as I was sitting here about to go live, I saw that Jim Mint is actually live as well. And Jim Mint is one of the first guys that I started watching on YouTube well over a year ago, long before I had my own channel. And the guy has a draw. So I was like, we'll see if anybody shows this little live stream. So I'm glad you guys were able to jump on here. So Mac Daddy Austin is in the house. How you doing, brother? I'm glad that you were able to make this live stream. Dex is in the house. Dex, it is good to see you, brother. I think we had a conversation earlier today. I have not had a chance yet to look to see what Amazing Spider-Man books I might need. I have literally been editing since earlier today, and I may give you guys a little bit of an update on that. I'm going to send somebody a quick message because I promised them that I would send them a message when I was actually live, so I wanted to make sure that I kept that promise. Comics and Beers, I am doing well, my friend. It is good to see you. Tony Trombetta from EGS is here. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. Just came across your comic run 1 through 53 in the collection. Sell them as a lot would be a fair price. Hey, send me a message, Comics and Beers. That way I can better consider what you're asking me. I think you're sent that to me or directing it to me. Send me a message if you get a chance. RegieCollects on Instagram or RegieCollects@gmail.com. Let's have a conversation. Heavy Hammer Jim, it is good to see you. Johnny is in the house. Christopher is here. Thierry, I think it's Thierry23, I think is how you say it. It's good to see you, brother. Perry Comics is in the house. Bad Dad is here. Mr. Q Comics is here. JD is in the house. How you doing, brother? It is good to see you. All right, so we have a ton of folks here. If I missed you, I apologize. The stream, as you know, can go a little fast here. So fingers crossed that we can get through a live stream without all of the technical glitches that we've been having as of late. So keep your fingers crossed for that. So the first thing that I wanted to do was to give you guys an update. CGC is coming back on. Just cut right to it, rip the Band-Aid off. CGC is going to be joining me again. I have literally been kind of having conversations with these guys every few days since the last live stream that they joined me on where we talked about restoration. We finally were able to lock down the details of the next live stream. I have put together a high-level agenda of what we're going to talk about, and I am pleased to announce that these guys will be joining me this coming Wednesday. What is that? January 30th at 1 o'clock Pacific time, 4 o'clock Eastern. So hopefully you guys can actually join me. If you're unable to join me, hopefully you'll be able to watch the playback. But I'm expecting this second show to be as dynamic and informative, if not more so, than the first show was. And I'll tell you guys what the topic is so you guys can start to wrap your mind around that. But it should be a really fun show. Anytime you do something for the first time, it can be a little tricky, it can be a little awkward, but the more you do it, the better you get at it, or at least the better you should get at it. So let me say hello, Gray Matter Hulk. How you doing, brother? JD, we always do a Q&A. Come on, brother. It's always a Q&A. And what I'll be doing is just like the first one. We will be doing the Q&A where I'm going to be asking them some questions. I'll go to the chat and I'll allow you guys to ask some questions. But as part of that, what I want to throw out is if you have questions for CGC, when this video gets posted, make sure you go back and type in your questions into the comment section when this video gets loaded. I can try to get it from the live stream when I go back and watch it, but it's a little difficult sometimes. So when the video gets posted at the conclusion of this live stream, if you go and you type your comments in, I can grab it that way. What I'm going to do is, because we aren't going to have hours and hours with these guys, what I'm going to do is to give priority to, and to me, this is like the only fair way to do it, people that have sent in, like, you know, books for trivia night, people that have done super chats, people that have sent AOKs. I have to find some way to prioritize it because it's going to be really difficult, right, to ask every single person's question. And so hopefully you guys kind of get where I'm coming from with that. So there's a lot of people like Big Wheel and Tina and HME, these people that have made donations, sent books in for me to give away to other people, that kind of stuff. So I want to make sure that I, you know, give a little deference to those individuals. So what are we going to talk about? Rush Die Hard. What are we going to talk about? Yeah, WRX. I'll be taking off early Wednesday myself, so I can be in this chair for the live stream. So what we're going to be talking about is, I have for quite some time been playing around with this idea of grading. Right? Grading comics. People have asked me, Reggie, what grade would you give this book? And they've sent me photos of the front and back of the book, and they've asked me what grade would I give the book, and whether based upon that grade they should pay this price or that price. I had people send me photos and say, what grade would you give this book? Because I want to know before I send it to CGC or EGS or some other company for the purpose of encapsulation. And I'm not a professional grader. I'm gonna just be honest. I am not an expert when it comes to grading. And we've all, if you sent books in, right, you've potentially been a little disappointed when you send a book in and it comes back and you thought that it was a 9.8 and that book is like a 5.5. And I have that example because it's a real example. It actually happened to me. I sent in an X-Force 2 that I thought was a 9.8, it came back a 5.5. I had another one in there that actually came back as a 9.8. But what happened is I missed some things, clearly, that resulted in a really bad grade. But my point is that none of us, except for maybe one of us on the video here, is actually an expert at grading. Yeah, Gray Matter Hulk. It came back at a 5.5, bro. It was painful, and it was live. I think I was live when I pulled that joker out and saw that. David, thank you, brother, for being a new subscriber, and thank you for the feedback on the channel. But yeah, I pulled out what I thought was going to be a 9.8, and it was a 5.5. It was an X-Force 2. That book is basically, it's worthless, right? At that grade, after encapsulation and shipping fees, it is essentially worthless. I can't even, like, if I were to give it away, I would just be taking a loss, right? So it sits in a box just over there. It sits there. But my point is that the reason that I wanted CGC to come back this next time was to do a little bit of a tutorial on self-grading. If you think about my channel as a whole, what I try to do is I try to give people things to think about, things to consider, right? I don't tell people what to do, but I try to give them additional ideas to kind of get them to think a little bit differently, right? To make us, right, the collective us, smarter about this hobby, right? And so what I want CGC to do is to come back on the channel and to talk to us about grading. How do we go about grading a book for our own purposes, right? Whether it be for the purpose of evaluating this book to determine how much I should pay for it, or evaluating this book that I want to send off for grading, or evaluating this book because I want to sell it and I need to know how much to sell it for, right? So it's what are the things that we should do to make ourselves smarter about grading? That is like part one of the video. And Matt Nelson, who is one of the lead graders for CGC, is probably one of the best people to give us some insight, right? He's been doing this since he was a much younger man. Not that he's an old guy now, but since he's been doing it a long time. Maybe that's the better way to phrase it. He's been doing this a long time, and so I want to get it from him. I want him to offer us some tips on grading books in an effort to make us smarter about grading books. And so Ramos is saying good topic, so thank you for that. Tina says that she is looking forward to it, and so WRX is saying that there's a little bit of debate over very fine to near mint, and truth be told, that's an area he struggles with. I think, brother, we all struggle with grading. I think that some of us struggle with grading, and then some of us struggle, to your point, with maybe subsets of grading, like to your point about very fine to near mint, right? And so the question becomes, what are the things that we should be looking for when it comes to grading, right? So that's part one, and I can talk more about what my thinking is around that, but that is essentially part one. So we have a couple of more people that have jumped in here. I said hey to Rush already. Chino Comics is here. Stay Puff is here. The Boy Who Had 7 and Sunshine Collects Things. Welcome to each and every one of you. So that's part one of what CGC is going to talk about. Part two is I want them to talk about the services that they offer as it relates to grading. I want to understand the process through which they receive books and grade books, how they evaluate it, how it's similar or dissimilar from the things that they are telling us to do for ourselves. And I have a feeling it's probably similar, just to a higher level and involving more people. But I want to understand their process for grading. I want to understand their services for grading, right? Because there are some people that are still very confused about how CGC goes about doing its grading. There is questions around how to submit books for the purposes of grading. And if you haven't seen it, I actually have a really, I think, a solid tutorial that goes step by step through the whole submission process. I have other videos that talk about how to evaluate which books to send. I have other videos that show how to bundle books up to send off to CGC. But even with my videos, even with other people's videos out there, there are questions that people have about the process. And so I want to be able to ask some of those questions of CGC. What are the services? How do we tap into them? What are some of the costs? What are some of the things that we should be thinking about? So that's part of that's part two. Part three of the chat is what I'm calling controversies. And a lot of these controversies actually popped up during the first live stream that we did, where people were like, well, what about this and what about that and Newton rings and why haven't you fixed those? So with that previous live stream, I didn't want to get into those topics, and it wasn't because someone asked this. It wasn't because CGC said, Reggie, we don't want to talk about that. It wasn't because they were afraid to talk about it. It was because the previous live stream was about restoration. And I wanted that live stream to be true to that topic. I wanted people that wanted to better understand restoration to be able to come to that video and learn about restoration, right? And I can tell you the average watch time on that video is pretty darn high. I have people that have sent me messages and were like, look, I watched the whole video and I don't watch long videos. So I think that video by and large is a great resource. This second live stream, this second video that we're going to do with CGC, I wanted to be really focused on grading, self-grading, submission for CGC encapsulation. But as part of that, and it fits quite nicely, is what are all the controversies that exist around CGC and grading? And so some of those things will be Newton rings, right? Newton rings, which I think Sir Isaac Newton invented in 1704. I want to ask CGC why they haven't solved what Sir Isaac Newton broke back in 1704. We're going to talk about potential, like how how do they encapsulate books, right? And is there a separate team that does encapsulation from grading? And what happens if a book gets damaged during the encapsulation process? You guys probably saw, like I did, Instagram blow up a couple of weeks ago with that 9.8 that had the corner ding, right? It was a 9.8, and if you zoom in close enough, you could see that probably during the encapsulation process, that book got jacked up. So we're going to talk about Newton rings. We're going to talk about damage to books, damage to encapsulation. And there was a third area. I can't remember what it was. Oh, consistency in grading, because that's another like hot topic. Is, you know, people have said CGC isn't consistent with their grading. They've waxed and waned on how they, you know, grade certain defects to books. We're going to hopefully dig into that. And so again, here, what we're going to do is we're going to have 3 sections to the time that we'll have. It'll be around self-grading, grading services offered by CGC, and then the third part will be controversies around grading. And so what I'd ask you guys to do is, as you think about the overall topic, the 3 sections, if you have your questions, when this video gets posted and it goes up, come back, enter your questions into the comment section. And as I mentioned, if there is time for me to get to the questions, I absolutely will. I'm going to give priority to people like Tina, who is here in the room, who has, you know, sent books to me to give away, and other folks are in this room that have sent books to me to give away to other people that have done super chats. I think Tina's done super chats. There's other people that are here that have done those super chats. And so I want to kind of prioritize. JD, who is here in the room, sent me a wonderful A-OK the other day. So I want to make sure that I kind of prioritize in some way, shape, or form how I kind of balance out the questions that gets asked. So there you go. CGC is coming back to RegieCollects next Wednesday at 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. Hopefully you guys can join me. We are going to dig into grading. Again, 3 different sections really focused on grading. So hopefully you guys can make it. So JD, who is here in the room right now, brother, if you do have a question, be sure to let me know. I will try to do my best to ask those questions. All right. So hopefully you guys can join me for that. Any questions? WRX says, it sounds like it's going to be a fun time. I think that it will. Stay Puff says he'll have to catch it. Yeah, hopefully you can catch it live. And if not, replay is always a really good way to go. I think that video was super hot. I think people are still watching that first restoration video that we did with CGC. So again, my hope is that this next one will be as good as the first. Dex says he's canceling all of his meetings on Wednesday. Oh man, you are hilarious. No, I'm hoping you guys can join me, because it should be really cool. It should be really cool. And so, Rush, yeah, I see the delay there. Hopefully we're going to be able to power through that. It may be because I've now exceeded my, I don't even know what my limits are, but Comcast is basically saying you have exceeded your allotment of time for, you know, uploads and downloads and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think we're going to be boosting that number up. So Evan Tube Raw, Evan, thank you very much for the super chat, brother. I absolutely appreciate that donation. All of those donations always go back into the channel. And Evan, certainly if you have a question for CGC when this video gets posted, don't be shy about posting that question up or sending me an email over to RegieCollects@gmail.com, and I will do my best to get that question asked when we are live next Wednesday. Rob, how you doing, brother? It is good to see you. And yes, Dex, I wish that I had another option, but unfortunately, it is the only option where I live. So there you go. The other thing I want to talk about, and someone kind of already mentioned, I think it was, who was it? Who was it that commented on that? I just said their name. Rush. We have reached 2,000 subs. And it was Bueller. He sent me a message last night on Instagram. He said, Reggie, by the time you wake up in the morning, you will have reached 2,000 subs. I want to say congratulations right now. He was a liar. because it wasn't until lunchtime that I hit it. But shout out to Bueller for acknowledging that major milestone. So yeah, we finally exceeded 2,000 subs. We're actually up to 2,001 last time I checked before going on air. So I'm very appreciative to every single person that is here in the room right now, and definitely appreciative to anybody that has subscribed to my channel. There has been a ton of growth over this last year that is really astounding, and I'm very appreciative of that. Thank you, Gray Matter Hulk. And Vox is in the house. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you. And so as part of that, I wanted to remind folks about this. So as soon as I reach 2,100 subs, I am going to be doing probably a live stream to actually give away a New Mutants 98. So as soon as we reach 2,100 subs, we're going to be giving this thing away. This is New Mutants 98 9.2, White Pages, first appearance of Deadpool, and it is also a newsstand. So definitely stay tuned because it could happen in the next week and a half. We may be giving away a New Mutants 98 really soon. So definitely stay tuned for that. Thank you guys. I absolutely appreciate it. Jason 3000, Marvel Joe, Thomas, how you doing? Rocker, how you doing? Thank you, brother, for the feedback. I definitely appreciate it. You know, I just get on here, man, and run my mouth, and people seem to dig it. So I definitely appreciated that. I'll have to check you out, Stay Puff. I'll have to check that out, brother. Thomas Churchill, thank you, my man. Yeah, it's so what's happened is I am so behind on watching YouTube. I am so behind on my own videos, and here's why. I decided after talking to Bueller the other day to step my game up a little bit, and I decided to change my video editing program. So I was using a program that was pretty basic, but I could work it, right? I could work it, I could manipulate it, I could do my thing, and it was super easy. And so I decided to step my game up to a more complicated program, and the learning curve was steep. So for days, I've been struggling trying to get these videos done. So not only had I filmed like 3 or 4 videos that I could not edit, I also had like 3 videos in my head that I was kind of organizing and playing with and kind of talking through. Because, you know, I don't know if you guys know, I was a communications major in college, and so I do videos as if they're articles. So I structured them the same way that I would structure an article. And so in my head, I'm always kind of moving pieces around. If I say this, how does that tie to that? That's how I do it. And so I'm always thinking about videos. And so I had, 3 videos, 4 videos filmed, and then I had another 3 in my head. So like today, I've spent so much time editing video, just trying to get this stuff ready, that I'm finally making progress. And that is why, like, you haven't seen me comment on much, if anything, today, like I normally do, which is I normally get up and I watch John's comments with kids. I haven't even been able to see I haven't been able to watch that today because I've been so busy editing videos. So Simon Comics is asking who will be the representative from CGC. It'll be the same representatives as last time. Brittany Mahoney and Matt Nelson. They will be the 2 individuals that will be on. So Brittany is one of the marketing people over there, and Matt is their senior grader, and so or head grader. So the 2 of them will be the ones that are going to be joining me. So Timmy, brother, I don't know. And Timmy's question here is, what makes for a successful YouTube channel? I mean, I'm guessing you mean a successful YouTube channel focused on comics. I don't, so a couple of things, basic stuff. Sound. If I cannot hear a video, I cannot watch a video. And this is one of the first lessons that I learned when somebody gave me feedback. They were like, I can't hear you. And so on my computer, I didn't realize that I had my sounds cranked all the way up and it sounded fine to me, but I realized that I needed a microphone. And so I've actually gone through several microphones, and I'm about to buy a new one because sound is so important. Number 2, lights. Lights are important. If I can't see you, I can't watch you, right? And so I think that those are just two of the most fundamental things that you can potentially do, right? Is have good sound, spend the money, have good sound, buy yourself some lights. I am black. I think most people know that. So I have to use extra lights to make sure that you can actually see me. And so I think it's one of those things that if you do those two things, you're off to a good start. The rest of it honestly is, what's your focus? What are you trying to do? What is your channel about? Are you just going to get on and unbox stuff, or are you going to have a higher purpose to what you're going to do? How consistent are you going to be with your content? And those are things that I think we all have to figure out ourselves. There are people that release content once a week, once a month. That's perfectly fine. There are people that do it every single day. I release content Monday through Thursday, always at 3:30, and then I have a live stream or two during the week. That's what I commit to, and that is what I consistently deliver, because I think that's also another important thing. So definitely, Timmy, if you want to talk more about this, brother, we absolutely can. We can definitely do it. Sunshine Collects says integrity. Well said, my man. And yeah, there is definitely a lag, so I have to apologize for that. My stuff is a little jacked up, so sorry about that. All right, so a couple of people saying really nice things about me, so I definitely appreciate that. 2,600 views, 5 likes, too long. Reggie was one. I'm not sure what that one was about. Comics with Bueller's asking if I have his book ready. Yes, brother, your book is ready. As soon as I get to 2,100 subs, this book is coming somebody's way. All right, so there you go. So definitely, hopefully that helps you, Timmy. Certainly, if you want to talk more, if you reach out to me, brother, on Instagram, we can have a much longer conversation. Always happy to help people. I just had I've spoken to a couple of YouTubers this week, and I think we like to talk to each other because I think sometimes it helps to bounce ideas off of one another. But I think we also feed off of one another. Because I will have a conversation with a YouTuber and think that I'm kind of helping them, but at the same time, I am also helping myself, to be honest, because I get fired up, I get motivated, So this is an A-OK from my buddy John Langford. John and I actually collaborated on a couple of videos over the past couple of months. There's one that will probably never be seen. It was some things that he and I were doing offline that I'll probably never talk about live. But he is a guy that I enjoy talking with. I talk to him often. But an awesome guy. He decided he was going to send me an A-OK, and so we are going to open this thing up. It is a nice brick wrapped in painter's tape, which you guys know I am a huge fan of. I actually had somebody reach out to me today asking why I use painter's tape. I'm actually thinking about doing a video on that because I think it could be an interesting topic. So more to come on that, maybe. Oh, wow, some cool stuff. All right, get this painter's tape off. I may have to just cut it, be a little easier. But John, if you are in the room, and I hope you are, I want to say thank you for sending this A-OK over to me, brother. Certainly it was unexpected, you wanting to send this, but I'm definitely appreciative. Looks like there is a letter in here, which we are not going to read on air. Let me see if I can get this thing open. I think I know what this first one is. I think I can. All right, so this first one that he sent is I don't even think I have very many graphic novels. Let me take that back. I have some graphic novels that Bueller sent me. So here we go. We have Batman, A Death in a Family. A Death in the Family. I've heard really good things about this book. This is the one where I think they killed off Robin. So Jim Starlin worked on this one. Marv Wolfman. Very nice copy. So I will do my best to actually read this. That's actually what I committed to, is to actually read it. So I will have to do that. So let's see what else he put in here. He put some Flash in here. Flash 46. Oh, wow. There are notes on the back. How cool is that? So this is Flash 46 Looney Tunes variant cover. Very, very nice. January 2016. That's a cool book right there. I have Beyond the Grave, August of '84. I'm not sure who the cover artist is on this one, but that's a cool cover though. Definitely a cool cover. Death in the fam is what he's saying. And someone asked what my what my Hulk is. The Hulk back there is an 8.5, and then I have a 5.0 signature series on the wall in front of me. Wow, that's cool. That's cool. Let's check this one out. The Phantom Stranger number 25 from 73. Lynn Wein is the writer. Cover artist is Jim Aparo. That's a cool cover. That's cool. That is cool. I don't think I've actually seen these books. Dex, trust me when I tell you, brother, I have actually tried. I have actually tried. Oh, man, that's cool. Wow. I've seen this book so many times. This is cool right here. This is Catwoman 4 Art Germ variant. This is cool. That thing is slick. I have seen this book so many times, but never actually picked it up. Wow, and it is a really, really nice cover. Great. This is going into an archival bag, no doubt about that one. And then we've got Superman 75. This is Death of Superman. This is standard edition first print from 93. Very cool. Very cool books. I've never read this one. Well, let me restate. I haven't read any of these books, but definitely some really cool books. And yes, to answer the question I was just asked, this is an A-OK for my buddy John Langford, who I talk to often. So I'm definitely appreciative of that. I'm actually going to let that be seen there. All right, so what was the other thing I want to talk about? Oh, I got the 2,000 subs. We gave the update. I think that's about it. I was planning to talk about the Bill Maher stuff, but I don't think I'm going to touch that one. If you guys haven't seen the news, Bill Maher, who was on, I think, Bill Maher was on vacation. He is back. He doubled down on his comments about comic book collectors, people that play video games, people that buy statues, comic book readers, people that go to comic book related movies. Like he doubled down big time on his negative positions as it relates to people who enjoy those types of entertainment. And what I realize is that I don't want to spend time talking about this guy who clearly has no respect. Yeah, so I'm done with that one. All right, I'm done with that one. So we'll give a quick roundup, and then we'll go ahead and get ourselves out of here. So for those that joined a little late, and I think we lost a lot of people because of the lag that I was suffering, which I apologize for. CGC is going to be back on the channel this coming Wednesday at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That is Wednesday, January 30th. They're going to be back on my channel. We are going to be talking about grading. We are going to dig all into grading, specifically how you can be better at grading the comics within your collection for the purpose of sale or purchase or submission for encapsulation. We want you to be smarter about how you grade. We're going to learn more about CGC's grading process and also their services and also their costs. And then we're going to dig into some of the more controversial issues as it relates to CGC and grading. So Newton rings, encapsulation damage, consistency in grading. We are going to dig into all of those things that CGC, that people ask of CGC in the forums. We're going to dig into it on this channel as well. So when this video gets posted, if you have questions for CGC, try to come back, post up your comments. I will try to get to as many of them as I can. We have roughly an hour or so to spend with CGC, so it's going to be really tough for me to ask all of my questions and all of your questions, so we're going to have to find some way to prioritize those things. So Wednesday, January 30th, we are going to be jumping on with CGC, Matt, Nelson, and Brittany. Matt is the lead grader for CGC. Brittany is one of their marketing people. So I'm expecting the conversation to be as fun, engaging, and informative as the first conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago on restoration. So hopefully you guys can join me for the live stream or watch it on playback. The other thing is my buddy John Langford sent me an awesome AOK, so I'm going to show these books one more time. We've got Superman 75, really awesome book. This is gorgeous. Catwoman 4 art germ cover. This thing is slick. We've got The Phantom Stranger from 73. This is Len Wein. I don't think I own any other Len Wein work except for like superhero stuff. So this is like the first one I've owned of him. This is awesome. John, brother, thank you very much. Next up, Beyond the Grave. I'm guessing this is some horror. Not something I've really read before, so it could be fun to explore this one. This is Beyond the Grave, number 16 from 84. And no, I don't know this. There is a note on back of each one of these. I'm cheating. The Flash 46. This is a Looney Tune variant. Really cool book right here. David, I am going to show that comment because you, sir, are funny. And the last one that he sent me was a hardcover, Death in the Family. I guess is where Robin dies. So I've heard crazy stuff about this. People love it. Some people hate it. But I'm actually going to read this one. It is awesome. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I've never read a Batman book before. Never. This will be the first. Have I ever read a trade paperback? I don't know. I'm a floppy Marvel guy, but I am going to read this. So looking forward to that.